Aloha, Big Island. This is Wigo. This is a very depressing, somber update today. I'm not going to be doing a bunch of edits and throwing cool pictures in. I'm just going to get down to brass tacks. Andrew Yang has suspended his campaign, as you know. I think it would be befitting to do an end of the run kind of video, but then after the trials and tribulations, going through all the different feelings of grief, I guess, all the different stages, I came out on a very positive note. So I'd like to resonate that and give a couple ideas of what the future is going to look like. The purpose of this channel is to get people registered to vote. Please, if you're on the Big Island, register to vote. You could register to vote as a Democrat. You could go to vote411.org, or you could go to vote.org. Either way, you can sign up, put in your address and where you're going to be, and find out where your precincts are. We're still going to tell you where those are on this channel, so if you're looking towards the Democratic debates or just the November elections, get information here about the campaign trail. Get information here about the campaign trail. There are no more Yanggang activities, but you could still go to MOBILIZE and see if there's anything happening in your local neighborhood, or Yang Near Me to see where other Yanggang members are still hanging out. You could also go onto the website where all the merchandise is 40% off. It's a great time to get those shirts. No fooling, I think I grabbed 2 extra hats just to have 2 nice ones later. There are 343 days until someone is inaugurated president. Don't quite know how Andrew's going to fit into that, if at all. It would stand to reason that somebody might offer him a position, or quite possibly the coolest thing, a VP, if they were to take over the UBI. We'll get to that later, though. But you could go to Yang 2020, find out what's happening, and the policies are still online. For those of you who are in the Yanggang, the policies and the information that was on Google Docs is still there. So quite possibly I'm going to be jotting down as much of that information as I can and trying to take that back to my local level and see how effective I could be here. Well, all the while, I kind of view it as this, regardless of how this plans out, I do believe Andrew Yang's policies speak for themselves. I will be championing those policies as well as Andrew Yang, so consider it just 5 years to canvas. Think of how many doors and phone calls we can make in the next 5 years. But I really don't know if I'm going to keep this channel going. I've really enjoyed doing it. It's a lot of effort, a lot of time. I've become pretty well informed on what's going on. I've gotten in touch with different people on different channels and feel a camaraderie, a friendship, a calling, if you will, to keep in touch. So those of us that are in the Yanggang on the Slack app, which we all use to do text banking and do phone banking, a lot of us exchange numbers, emails, which is wonderful. Hawaiianggang has their own special Hawaii page that we keep informed. A lot of us are going to be staying in touch. The other idea is there's a lot of people out there still doing more information, so it brings me to the next question. What do you think this channel should be? Do you think it should consistently be still an Andrew Yang thing? Or do you think we should move on to political commentary? Put it in the comment section below. If you like this, please like and subscribe, but might be revamping this to do something else that doesn't take as much time, maybe a little bit more professional setting, so it's not just crammed together in 2 or 3 hours of substance. But anywho, get down to it. We're going to go to Humanity First today. There's a video out about how the Asian vote matters, and I think it's really awesome that now in 2020 there's such people that will be joining the voting populace that have never voted before, those of which many are Asian, that have never felt the need to vote, and now they might come out and vote in mass numbers. How appreciative we are collectively for the Asian vote to stand out as something that matters, as well as the black vote and as well as every vote. Equality should be our ¡1 priority. This first video is pretty cool. It talks about the influence that it's had, which is wonderful. Good power. There's a new channel that does news. It's called Now This News that I decided to put in here. I've never seen them before, but it had a good little show. It talked about, you know, hundreds of thousands of hours of text banking, and Andrew goes into, you know, what we have accomplished rather than what we haven't accomplished. And at the end of it, I think everybody there wasn't really ready for the gut punch. But when it came, nobody was like over emotionally whacked out, from what I saw. Basically, it broke it down that Andrew has reached over 400,000 individual donors from all over the country. 13 families got $1,000 each month for a year. And now people will know about that study, that data, that research, and two, it helped them, which is humanity first. That's the whole point of this. His whole campaign has highlighted issues with automation that nobody else was talking about. And now how you can walk into a room and see robots running it and not people of color. It definitely changes the stereotype for anybody who wasn't listening before, that AI is the culprit, not people of different colors, and building a wall is an imaginary fixation built on hate. The national conversation touches forth in the Industrial Revolution. That's the first time anybody's ever coined that or talked about it. If you haven't read his book or listened to the audio tapes, it's called The War on Normal People. I would suggest that you read it and listen to it. It might change the way that you feel about Andrew Yang. If this is the first time to this channel, it's an awfully upsetting way to come into the Yanggang Big Island. But if you have any questions, you can email me at yanggangbigisland@gmail.com. My name is Wago. Another interesting thing they do is they talked about UBI is now part of the mainstream, like Medicare for All is. 4 years ago, Bernie fought awfully hard, and this year it's just a given, which is great. Personally, I don't know if we could wait another 4 years for a freedom dividend, universal basic income for those who are already struggling. Also, it feels like when criminals do the last amount of their bidding right before the end, they would take and get as much as they possibly can. Seems like the game plan. It's strategy. Board games. Anyway, that's only my opinion. This accelerated the eradication of poverty, he says, and I do agree. I do think to an extent that more people have gotten involved inside of this campaign because of the humanity first aspect of it, rather than the political aspect of it. That's just my opinion, but the eradication of poverty is definitely something that we struggle to do. I see it here on the island. I saw it back in California. I saw it in Missouri, and you know, I myself at one point in time needed a helping hand. This campaign has brought families together. It's brought people together all over the nation, and dare I say, in fact, the world. I personally have spoke to people all over the world that have been involved in the Yang campaign in one facet or another. At 4:40 in this video, he drops the bomb, saying that they're ending the campaign. However, turns around into a positive, as Andrew does, and he is right. This is only the beginning. This is the start of it, and the things that this campaign touched upon is amazing. And thanks to the Yanggang and other contributors, the actual message got out to a percentage of people. However small that was, it got out, which is wonderful. Grassroots, Yanggang, Russell, and Elisa, they basically break down what this has been to them, the trials and tribulations they've gone through after hearing the announcement. As all of us, we watched Matt in the hallway with everybody else walking around. Oh man, this is my buddy from Slack saying hi. Shout out to Harry, how you doing, bro? Very good. It's very nice meeting you. But yeah, I guess this will be the one I'll end it on. There might be another couple of videos in here that are enders, but here's where we're at. I'd like to know if I should keep doing this channel. If I do it, I'm going to be putting a little less time into it. However, I'm going to be changing the outlook to this, to seeing maybe how Yang's policies start showing up in other candidates' policies. Mindful Skeptics with Boyce, he goes into a little bit detail today talking about other platforms on his channel. I'll put that in the description below. I actually chit-chatted with him on there about that, and he went over Tulsi Gabbard's policies, and after he got done with hers, and I think one other person's I missed before I jumped on the live cast, kind of said what I was feeling too. It's really hard to go from Andrew Yang's campaign policies to anybody else's. They're so well thought out and laid out, and they work together. The way I was explaining it to people, it's very hard to like be standing upright against a board watching something being drawn, or like you even write UBI or democracy dollars and all these things on this board, and it seems okay in theory and principle and like right when you're there, but if you step back and you look at them from a little bit of a distance and perspective, it makes this beautiful portrait. And I think a lot of the Yanggang was capable of seeing that, what a 2020 administration looks like, let alone a 2085 administration. So yeah, I guess restructuring this YouTube channel into something that behooves the Humanity First campaign. Don't really want to change the name of it, Yanggang Big Island. I was thinking about maybe changing it to Yanggang UBI, Universal Big Island. I don't know. If you have any comments or questions, put them down below. If you want to get a hold of me, my name is Wago, yanggangbigisland@gmail.com. There have been a couple of people that have reached out to me and asked me if I was going to do something else in the Yang campaign moving forward to 2024. And my answer to that is absolutely hell yes. I do believe that this is the wave of the future. We have started the seed, planted it, and the revolution is coming. Nobody could have expected the following of the Yanggang, but what people do expect is for things to change for the better. And what I want to do is be able to bring a resource of information that you might not have heard. So when I was phone banking and talking to people about what their experiences are, I got to know a lot about Iowa, way more than I thought I would ever know. And what I can tell you is the people are just the same everywhere in every state. And I do feel some sort of calling or duty to be a part of some sort of process which helps shed light on the confusion of this. And try not to overthink and try to give something back. I personally would love to get involved on a local level about things that are important to me. And I guess kind of the way I feel is, why stop canvassing for Andrew Yang? I'm not going to stop wearing my math hat or my Yang gear. I'm not going to stop talking about a guy who was running this year that all odds are against him. And due to a couple key issues, which basically were out of his hands, out of his control, certain things happened with a campaign that I would have liked to have gone further. And going through all the stages of grief, I was very shocked and bewildered at first, and then I was very upset, and then I was very angry, and then I became very, very sad. And then after sad cleared, I became a little bit more reasonable with my emotions and realized that the work and effort that all of us have put in, especially myself, I've gained something in life. I've gained a passion for being a political activist and fighting for what's right. It seems as if my whole life I've never really truly fit in, kind of on the fringe, whether I put myself there by choice or it just happened that way. It does, however, seem like I've always in every situation tried to gain understanding and reasoning, and being a part of a campaign like this where I was privy to all the policies as they kind of grew, because a lot of them started as 100+ good policies, which turned into 150+ well-explained, well-documented, cohesive policies which work together. In the next couple of videos that I think I'm going to do just at my own leisure, if not throw them into a daily thing, is discuss one policy and how we could actually have seen that implemented. If Trump does win and beats out a Democratic choice, it would be interesting to do a series of videos. What would Yang do, or how would this be affected in this type of administration? Shoulda, coulda, wouldas. But honestly, I just kind of feel at a loss right now. I might take a day or two off from doing videos, but why don't you tell us what you think in the comments below? If you dig what we're doing and you'd like to subscribe, great. Those of you who donated to the Patreon and the fund to help us, thank you very much. Any extra allocated funds will be donated to the Yang campaign in one way or another. There's still swag available. We might buy that and just give it out to people. So, if you have questions or comments, put them below. You could also get a hold of me, Wago, at yanggangbigisland@gmail.com. If you see me on the island, give me a high five and yell Yanggang, and I will respond kindly. Other than that, MOBILIZE I don't think is going down, so we're still going to schedule a Pledge for Humanity trash pickups and maybe even canvassing to still tell people about Andrew Yang. But as a suspended campaign goes, that means that a lot of the weight has been taken off, and I think Andrew, being the most pragmatic choice, saw that, which is why he didn't want to beat a dead horse or run it into the ground or whatever euphemism or colloquialism you want to throw at this. So I hope this isn't the last time I say this, but if it is, aloha, Big Island.